Like any other work, butlers, house managers undergo the same stress, anxiety, nervousness in their first few weeks when they take up a new job. But again, for house manager or a butler who takes over a property, takes about at least a year to settle down in his job. And people wanted to know why. We are now in this video going through their responsibilities, so you will know by the time they tie up things together, it takes about 6 months. After 6 months, they get it into settling down and getting it fine-tuned. That is another 6 months. It's about a year before they could settle down in a particular job. So let us crack on and have a look at what this job involves. The first weeks, how do they spend in learning what? Let's look at it now. Right. A house manager, as soon as he arrives into a new employment, the first thing what he looks for is to understand the culture of the establishment. If it's a hotel or if it is going to private household, that's more complex. In fact, hotels has SOPs and things like that. In a private household, it is as soon as you arrive, you have to learn every aspect of the culture. What does culture of an establishment or a household means? The culture of the household means it includes the things, how things are done. A same activity in a different household will be done in a different way. A cleanliness might be top end for somebody, decent for somebody, and at the next level for somebody. So only when you are there, when you learn the client's requirement, you will be able to pick it up. So it includes how things are done. The culture also includes the hierarchy of the household, the identity of the family. The family is or from Asia or from Western countries. They have different identities, then they have different followings, different way of doing things. And also their cultural beliefs. What is their cultural belief? All this put together becomes a culture of that particular household or an establishment. First, he picks up on that. And second, he also will look how things are placed, how things are kept. Is it in a convenient way, or is it a very luxurious items they have indulged in, and so on. So all the time he is absorbing like a sponge the information around the household. The next one is the admin related. In terms of administration, how the communication is done between the families, between the staff, how the communication is through email, through WhatsApp, or through phone calls, or through internal group chats. Then money related, invoices, who passes the invoice, where the invoice has to be submitted, does it go to the accounts or does it go to the personal assistant? So administration which involves money related things, also he has to establish how it is done. Then the staff issues, how the staff issues are handled. Is there a precedence or should he start to setting it up? And then the travel related activities with regards to the family. Who looks after their private jets? Who looks after their yachts? How do they do the travel? Whom do they report to? Does it go from him to outside or outside to him? He's been informed, and so on. So admin related activities he has to learn. Then he comes to learn to the personal preferences of each persona of the family. How does Mr. likes this? How does the Mrs. likes this? How does the children like this? Is there a allergen requirement? Is there a dietary requirement? And then he learns about how to manage the staff. What is the priority? What is the preference of the household? How do they wanted the staff to be managed? And how he can contribute in this. And then he learns about the contractors. At any given time in a really established household, there are between 15 to 30 contractors. So throughout the month, the contractors are visiting. And also it is important for him to establish what is the status of the house which in. They've got a pump which is going, the pump which is not working well or something like that. So the contractors coming in and going out, keeping a record and getting them to do the job they are supposed to do, all these things. So after learning about the contractors, there is also planning of the events for the family. The family will have general events like Easter, Christmas, and apart from that, their birthdays, wedding anniversaries, and the parents of the principals, how much they are involved, the children of the principals, how much or how little they are involved, all these things. So the events throughout the event calendar throughout the year. Who supplies for the events? Who is the florist? Who is the person who supplies the candles? Who supplies the other items, the cutlery, crockery items, and so on? And in their household itself, in the events, they will use probably 9 to 10 varieties of cutlery, crockery is there. So which event should have Hirandan, which event should have Villeroy and Boch, which event should have Parisian cutlery, crockery, and so on. So you have to learn by working, by doing, how the principle, the preferences are. When do you have to use what crockery, which room, which crockery goes, and so on. And then the technical skills. The whole household will have a sophisticated building management system. So he has to learn the building management system. Also, this will be connected to the alarm system, emergency systems, and all these learnings he has to do. How to operate, passwords, how to interact when things go down, what are the things to be addressed. And then there is the next one is communication with the employers. How would they like to be communicated with? What do their preferences? Is it on email? Is it a phone call? Getting to grips with the principal's expectation. So by the time about 6 or 8 weeks down the line, then you will start learning what is the expectation of the principal from you. Though things will be discussed in the interview, what is being discussed in the interview, practically when you come and start working, what you will feel and what you will see could be very different things. Food and beverage services and inventory. So you will be also probably in charge of serving food and beverage, or you will have butlers to serve it, and what time what is being served. This knowledge you have to interact with, you will have to have a knowledge about it, because you are going to plan other activities based on these things. So the food and beverage preferences, and also the inventory is the wine cellar. What is the stock in the wines? What has to be ordered? And what is the stock in the cigar cellar? And who orders the food? Does the chef get the food, or you do order it online? What is the standards they wanted? Organic and so on. So all this knowledge you got to obtain. Similarly to food and beverage, there is also another part, wardrobe management. You will have to know what are the preferences of the brands for the principal, for the employer, for the madam, for the mister, and for the children. Ongoing issues, maintenance and relationships. In terms of the whole house, we'll have pump rooms, we'll have motors, we'll have fountains, we'll have automatic systems, which the screen, blinds, and so on. So is there any problem when you took over areas? This has been an ongoing issue, and so for you to learn that and for you to address that, what are the things. And then there could be some problems with the relationship with the contractors, relationship with the suppliers. So all these things you got to establish over a period of time and deal with it, of course, and deal with it. Emergency procedures, when things go down, when the power fails, when the water gets flooded, when the swimming pool pump doesn't work. So emergency procedures, you got to be on top of the game. Anything happens in that house, the first call will come to you. So you got to really be on top of the emergency procedures. You must know anytime throughout 24 hours. If you are woken up from the bed, you should know the emergency procedures of the house. So by the time, as I mentioned, you come to the total scope of the work, it would be around 6 months. And to tie it all together, to get it going smoothly, it would be a year time. By the year time, they also are observing how you are picking up, what you are able to do, what you are not performing up to the mark, and so it is a learning for both the parties. I wish you all the best, and I hope this clarifies why a house manager or a butler, when he takes over a property, it takes at least a minimum of a year to settle down. I thank you. Please put in your comments. If you wish to know anything more, I would be more than happy to answer you.